All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sons of Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. The Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. This is going to be a quick lesson through the Spirit, Lord willing. It's edifying. Forgive me for my voice. I'm overcoming a little cold, but it's all good through the Spirit. This lesson is going to be on how is that, me in the form of me proposing a question, with that question being to the hopeful elect men of the nation of Israel out there. How is that new man coming along? How is that new man coming along? Okay. And it's just something that I have been meditating on for a while now through the Spirit. And it's something that we all should be meditating on. This is a question that we all should ask ourselves. Okay? Because as we can clearly see, as the scripture say in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, therefore seeing, all these things, all these things shall be dissolved, roughly paraphrasing. What manner of persons ought we to be in all holy conversation and righteousness? Okay, knowing that word conversation in the Greek goes into anastrophe, which means what? Your conduct, your character, in a sense. Okay, so as we can clearly see, this place is going down. DJT is absolutely on one. As the apostles and elders and other brothers have been saying, we're in Jacob's trouble. It just hasn't fully kicked off yet, but it's kicked off. It's the ball has been rolled. Okay, the snowball is rolling, and it's only going to get bigger and faster. Okay, so we have to be ready. We have to be in the right spirit, because we're on an any day now basis. Okay, between now and the end of this year, it could be really on and popping. Okay, the Lord is so gracious and merciful that he isn't just gonna set this thing off. He's not gonna go from 0 to 100, because as of right now, we're not at 0. We at least 20. You know what I mean? 2022, 23, 24, in a sense of how much chaos is going to be out here. Okay? But the Lord he's warning us. He's warning us. He's warning the world, really. Okay? He's showing us that the hour of temptation is on its way. He's showing us that this devil is coming down with great wrath, because even he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So, knowing all this, of course, we focus on the prophecies. We push the prophecies so that we may wake up the elect, but we have to examine ourselves much more. All right? And a form of us examining ourselves is proposing that question. How is that new man coming along? Okay, and this question is being proposed especially to the men that have been in this thing for some time now. Okay? You've been in this thing for 7, 8, 9, 10 years plus. You should be a complete different person, really. Especially been in this thing about 10 years. That's a good cycle. That's a good, 9, 10 years. That's a good The Most High deals with cycles. The Most High deals with rhythms, ebbs and flows. Okay? So, the Most High gives us grace. He gives us time to work out the kinks in our spiritual armor, so to speak, to iron our clothes, to get ourselves together. That's grace. All right? That's grace and mercy. So, but there is going to come a point in the near future where you're not going to really be able to work on yourself. All right, who you are and where your spirit, where your spirit is in relation to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to be locked. It's going to be set, man. Okay, like concrete. At first, after you mix it, like when you first come into this truth, we're like that dry mortar. We're like that dry, before the water is mixed. It's that truth be in the water. And now you become what? Moldable. You become shapeable. Okay? As the scriptures say, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. All right? And as we get closer and closer to the end, we're starting to dry out and set. Okay? So you want to make sure that you are fully imprinted with the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and that you are, that old man is totally gone. So with that being said, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. Okay, NLT says this means that anyone who belongs to a Mashiach has become a new person. The old life is gone. A new life has begun. Okay, so you're not supposed to be the same person that you were when you first came in this thing. And you don't just become a totally new person when you first come into the truth. Of course, you change a lot of things about yourself, but you may think that you became a new person when you first come in, but really, it takes a while. It takes time to truly become that new person. Okay? And the Most High knows that. He designed it like that. He set it up that way. Okay? That's the process of life. Growth takes time. Okay? And He's long-suffering. He gives us time. But as we know, the time is not forever. The time is winding down. Okay? So again, we should all be new people. We should all be we should all be doing a character arc in this story, in this movie. We are all characters. We all how can I say? We're characters in this movie. I'll just put it like that. And as King Solomon said, right, the preacher, which we know who he is in the spirit, he said what? Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit are better than the proud in spirit. Okay? So we're getting to the end of this thing, which means we should be better than how we were when we came in. So how you were when you came in, you may have had, this weakness, that weakness. You bump your head here, you bump your head there, rough around the edges here. You may have been perceived as one way by the men around you or the people that know you, or, in this movie you may have a certain perception. But as the years go on, as time goes on, It may be slowly, right? Could be quicker than others. But at a certain point, especially now, you should be doing a full arc, okay? And you look into what a character arc is, all right? Look into what character development is. We should all be exemplifying character development. We should be unrecognizable in the spirit. You know, all bad habits should be dying. And I understand that's easier said than done. Okay, even on a physical level, we should be maturing about how we treat ourselves, how we treat those around us, or that the Most High has placed around us. Our outlook on life should be growing and maturing. We should be growing. We should all be growing the hell up. Okay? Because this truth is what makes you a man, right? Like Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians, forget what chapter that is, right? But you know what I'm talking about. Or is that 2 Corinthians? I haven't read it in a while, but you all know what I'm talking about. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put childish things away. Okay? So you don't become a man in this truth the first day you come into this truth. It takes a while. You have to grow, but you have to consciously make decisions that are going to further you towards growth. You have to make conscious efforts, conscious decisions daily. You fall, you get back up, but you have to desire the sincere milk that you may grow thereby, right? The character scriptures, the book of Sirach, actually applying these things and exemplifying them in your life so that, you can actually track these things in real time. Okay, yeah, this first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years, maybe I was doing this. 6 years I started doing that. 7 years I started doing this. And you look up 8, 9, 10 years, you should have done a full arc. Shouldn't be falling for the same mistakes you was falling for year one. Brother shouldn't be able to look at you and be like, damn, it seems like you ain't grown at all. The growth should be evident, self-evident. Okay, when you plant a tree, 10 years later, it should be evident that you planted that tree some time ago. You shouldn't look at a tree and be like, damn, you just planted this tree? Somebody shouldn't ask you, you just planted this tree. If somebody gotta ask you if you just planted a tree, that means something's wrong. That means that tree's not good. Right? You should be producing good fruit by the 10th year in season, right? So again, this is Ephesians chapter 4 and 21. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushai, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Okay, so let's read in the NLT. It says, since you have heard about Yahushai and have learned the truth that comes from him, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. And this world is full of lust and deception. That's really what this world is all about, lust and deception. That's what makes the world go round. In this current system, operated and maintained by the devil, Esau, Edom. so-called white man, who works for the spiritual demon Satan. Okay? We shouldn't be falling for lust and deception at this point. If you know who I'm talking about, I'm talking about, brothers that's been in this thing for some time. And even you brothers that haven't been, you don't have as much time. So you should be growing faster. And that's why the Lord set up order and leadership, so that you can learn from other men's mistakes, so that you don't have to grow or go through certain things. So you younger men that are under my voice, you best to take heed to the men before you, right? And learn from their mistakes. Okay? Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all parts of the same body. Right? We can't be lying to one another, man. Be honest. Don't be scared to be open with a brother, especially a brother that you've known for years. Okay? You ain't gotta be with that macho shit, that fake macho shit. We don't have no, there shouldn't be no ego in this thing. That's a part of the world. And don't sin by letting anger control you, right? That's childish. Allow your anger to control you and sway the decisions you make with your brothers. That's childish. Alright? Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry. For anger gives a foothold to the devil. Bro, that's something we should know. That's something that we should all know and understand very well by now, man. And anger, you let anger control you, that's it. That's a wrap. That's one of Satan's prime tools to get at brothers. You holding a grudge, you just emotional. You just being a bitch ass nigga. Really? And you think you being manly and macho cause you mad. That's not cool, man. Right? Learning how to properly manage your emotions, that's something a man does. Women and children allow their emotions to dictate their actions. Okay, look up Stoicism, brothers. Look into Stoicism. Apostle Tahar been going into Stoicism for years, and a lot of brothers ain't stoic. I'm seeing that, man. A lot of brothers are not stoic enough. I put it that way. And I'm talking to myself first. I definitely could be more stoic, but I practice Stoicism. It's okay to have fun here and there, but you gotta know what's good for you. Okay? So that's pretty much it. That's really morning. That's all I really wanted to say in this lesson. Hope it was edifying. With that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Until the next one, Shalom.